Hey, house guests, welcome to today's BBCan 10 updates and spoilers. I hope our picture is clearer today. I think we found the problem. We'll find out. But our house guests of the day are Matthew Burge and Donnie Greenwell. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla, and it's a real good time. I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. Jefferson Tucker and Treval K, thank you so much as always. And Jefferson's here again. Yay! Thank you. He says, stumbled on Canadian Puppet Theater season 5 today. Pure gold. Honestly, I don't even remember. Like we did season 5. I know we recapped it, but did we do Puppet Theater? I guess so. I feel like I remember doing like the robot arm thing when William got the secret power. So yeah, I guess we did do it, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you so much. And yay, no pixels. I'm glad to hear it. So let's get started. When we left off yesterday, Moose and Summer were up on the block, and both of them have been campaigning, some better than others. Moose has been making a really strong case for himself. He's a good talker. We've seen it all season. His campaign this week is very similar to Herman's campaign from last week. You know, he's telling everybody, I'm a strong competitor. I can win competitions to take out our targets. I myself am a huge target, but I can be a shield for you. You know, that's useful for you. Whereas Summer is like, I'm not making any promises to anyone. She's not really offering much as she's campaigning, but she is saying that if she were to win HOH, she would put up Marty and Gino. And that sounds like a real lot of fun to me. But it's been looking since the power veto ceremony like Moose will be the one leaving this week. And at this point, people just want to take out the bigger competitor. You know, it doesn't matter if he is campaigning more and putting in more effort than Summer is, because the fact is he is a stronger competitor, and we're getting down to it here. So Moose was alone in the beach room at one point yesterday, and you can definitely tell he's getting frustrated here. And he says it all comes down to Josh, as per usual. So just to give you some context here, Moose thinks that he has the showmance on his side, but he does not. So he also thinks if he has Josh, he'll have Betty. So that would give him 3 votes with Josh, Betty, and JC Lynn. And then Gino would break the tie in his favor. So with that, he's thinking, all I need is for Josh to commit to me and everything else will fall into place. He says, I've been committed to this guy for the whole game. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, he did just try to get Josh up on the block this week. What? But Moose says, I haven't wavered from supporting him the whole game. You know, I supported him when he was up on the block against Steph. I made sure he had the votes. I don't know why he can't just freaking support me right now. All he needs to do is tell Betty and Gino that he's going to vote for me to stay. And he's like, I don't know what else to do, Canada. I've laid out all of my cards on the table. I've been so honest with so many people. And he says, I don't get why Josh just won't help me. He says, I don't know if he just doesn't want to commit, or that he's indecisive, or he's just straight up trying to be a selfish player and think about his own game. I mean, don't you kind of have to think about your own game? But Moose says it will not sit well with him if Josh can't support him right now in this moment. Dang. Okay, so that might not be good with Moose going to the jury house being upset with Josh. Meanwhile, Josh is in the kitchen with Betty, and they're talking about how they want to take out Marty. They are done with him. They've had enough. They really want to win this next HOH and get the job done. I'm sorry, but Josh has been throwing competitions all season long. I do feel like he genuinely wants to win, though, to get Marty out. But Josh says, man, it's really hard to see Moose walking around all sad. He's fighting really hard to be here. And Summer just like isn't. She knows she doesn't have to at this point. But Josh brings up that Moose has been saying he wants to work with the showmance, which is true. Moose was proposing an alliance of 5 with Moose, Josh, Betty, Gino, and JC Lynn. That's a problem, right? Josh and Betty do not actually want to go to the end with the showmans. They don't want Moose working with the showmans. If Moose was going to stay, they would want Moose to be taking out big targets like Marty and the showmans. So they agree. They can't really trust him. If they take him out, that's just one less strong competitor in the house. So they feel like that's the direction that they want to move in. So a little later, my nose was really itchy. A little later, Kevin and Helena are chatting in the storage room. Everybody has still been studying the Shoppers Showcase wall. Do you guys think that's going to come up in another competition? Because I feel like that would be wild if they did another comp based on that. It's possible, but I feel like no. The house kids have been spending a lot of time studying all that information, though. Maybe they're just like, you know what? What else am I going to do? I may as well have this info down. So Helena tells Kevin, Gino is a blazing fire. And if he is not put out, he is going to literally burn this place down on his own. She knows she's like making a fire joke, right? When he is a fireman. I'm sure she did that on purpose. But yeah, I mean, you got to take players like Gino out at this point, right? And Kevin says, I think everyone sees that except for Marty. Marty's like in love with Gino. He's obsessed with Gino. Helena says, I guess it's like Marty's morals or something. And she says, no offense, but no one gives a shit about that. It's definitely grating on people that Marty has been like so slimy and like stabbing people in the back over and over and over again, which is fine. You know, this is Big Brother. But the part that's really annoying people is how he keeps preaching about his morals and like how honest he is and like that's not him, blah, blah, blah. Just own it, man. Just own it. So then JC Lynn and Gino come in and Helena asks, Moose is going, right? We're still doing that. And they all agree, yes, he's got to go. His pitch has been great this week. He's good at telling everybody what they want to hear. He's good at making people feel important. But since he's telling everyone what they want to hear, no one is sure what Moose would really do if he were to win HOH. So they can't have that, right? They got to get Moose out of here. So later, Moose is chatting with Josh in the red bedroom. And Moose says, I'll be straight up with you. I think the whole house wants to know what the whole house is doing. He says, I don't think anybody wants to do anything individually. Everybody is waiting for just one person to say how they're going to vote. They're saying that because they're voting you out. That's what they tell you when they're going to vote you out, that they don't know. They want to see what the house is doing. They want to check in with everybody else. That means they're voting you out, Moose. But Moose tells Josh, I think you're that person, aka he wants Josh to tell people that he's voting to keep Moose so that other people will feel comfortable and jump on board. But Josh is not voting to keep Moose. So Moose tells Josh, I will be loyal to you for the rest of the game. And this is some Pisces energy. It doesn't matter if that loyalty isn't reciprocated from you. I will still be loyal to you. He says, I don't want you to look back on this decision with regret. I think if you tell Betty, Gino, and JC Lynn that you're voting for me to stay, then that vote will swing and I will stay. He says, I think what you say goes this week. So Moose tells Josh, I would love to be sitting next to you at the end, or even if I don't make it, I'd love to propel you to the final two. I'd love to help you get there. And Josh is not saying a lot during this conversation, but eventually Josh is like, I do want you to stay. I don't think that you're Gino's target this week. So Josh says, I will talk to Gino. I'll talk to JC Lynn. I'll talk to Betty about it. That pretty much means no. Okay. That's no without saying no. So later, JC Lynn and Kevin have a game chat in the beach room, and they are discussing possible double and triple eviction scenarios. I mean, we're getting down to it here. We only have a few weeks left in this game, and there are still 9 people left. Like, obviously, somebody's going tonight, so they'll be down to 8, but still, 8 people left at this point in the game. So they feel like there's some sort of a double or a triple coming up. So They were already talking when the feed switched to them. We didn't get to hear the beginning of their conversation, but it sounds like they're talking about using Helena as a pawn if necessary during a double or a triple eviction. They're saying she hasn't been up on the block yet, and she would be the safest out of our group of 5. So again, the 5 is JC Lynn, Kevin, Marty, Gino, and Helena. Keep in mind, Kevin is probably just trying to hide how close he is to Helena because there's no freaking way that Kevin is going to put Helena in danger if he were to win HOH. But JC Lynn asked Kevin, what would you do if you were HOH in a double eviction? And Kevin says, I'd put up Betty and Summer, which I think he would actually do because he would want to backdoor somebody. He brings up, Josh could win this whole game without winning a competition. Okay. I do think that Kevin would absolutely turn on Josh before the crash test dummies get to the final 3. But I don't think that he would do it like with him as HOH, especially not if the showmance and Marty are still in the house. I don't think he would do it. But I do think he is setting up JC Lynn or Gino, to potentially target Josh if they were to win HOH, because obviously they're not going to take out each other, right? And Kevin still wants somebody who could potentially win the game to go. But yeah, I don't see Kevin doing that by his own hand this early on. But JC Lynn agrees, yeah, Josh's social game is amazing. So then JC Lynn brings up how no one's ever going to vote out Summer. She is not a threat at this point. People don't feel like they need to take her out. So Kevin's like, oh, really? Well, under that logic, is it better to take out Summer and Betty before Josh? He's planting seeds. And he says, it sounds crazy, but is it? So he is trying to protect Josh a little bit here. JC Lynn says, I mean, Josh would be alone if Summer and Betty go. He's going to have to go somewhere, right? And Kevin says, yeah, I think Josh would go after Marty. So he's looking out for Josh a bit. But then Kevin also brings up, we're all going to lose if Josh makes it to the end. Like, no one's going to beat Josh. He's so well liked. And JC Lynn's just like, dang, we're running out of targets here. That's usually how it works, right? We're getting close to the end here. You're running out of people to target. You're going to have to target people that you're working with. So JC Lynn says, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, someone from R5 needs to win this next HOH. Okay, so that was all last night. Today, the feeds went down before the house guests were even up and at 'em today. And they've been down all day for the eviction taping. So it's really looking like Moose is going tonight unless something insane happened. The vote will likely be unanimous for him to go, which sucks. Moose has been so much fun to watch on the live feeds and the show. So that's a bummer. But it seems like going into this next week, Gino and Marty are the biggest targets. Unless Marty or JC Lynn win HOH, then who knows what's going to happen, right? But I want to know from all of you, who are you rooting for to win this next HOH? Let me know. And oh my goodness, I see we have some super chatters in the house today. Okay. Jefferson Tucker, of course. Thank you so much as always. Adley Bruges, thank you so much.
Oh my God.
I know. Bowie. Adley Bruges says, congrats. I heard the good news. Thank you. I'm very excited. Lynn Hurst, thank you so much for the super chat. And she asks, is anyone targeting Kevin? Can you see Kevin winning?
I could definitely see Kevin winning.
It's becoming...
And I'd love it. I'm for it.
Yes. Here's my thing. Okay, so first of all, it doesn't seem like anybody is targeting Kevin right now. He seems to be in a very good position. He's working with a lot of people, and they're not like, we need to get him out of here.
Who would have known?
Right? I'm so happy for him. So he's in a great spot right now. I do see him potentially making it to the end. The only reason I'm not super sure about him actually winning is because of this interview that I saw Herman give after he was evicted, where he was like, I don't think Kevin's doing anything. Like, I'm not voting for Kevin in the end, blah, blah, blah.
But maybe
I'm hoping,
He'll
you know,
be convinced by
yeah.
future jury members.
I'm hoping that
Or maybe he'd vote for Andrew Grossman.
you never know. If Kevin is given enough of an opportunity to explain his game, I think he would have a really good shot to win. But I'm just nervous that he's not going to get the credit that he deserves because he really has manipulated a lot this season. I just don't know if people realize that. But we'll see what happens as more and more
He's
people
a
enter
villain!
the jury house,
He's
right?
going to villain con!
It's so refreshing to have a villain in the game
That you
who's
don't
not
hate.
like a piece of crap as a
Yes.
person. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's such a big
I
difference
mean, we
between.
don't know what Kevin's like.
No, but
he
I
hasn't
mean,
been a jerk in the
he's
house.
not a villain in the sense that he's like racist or
Yeah.
a misogynist or anything like that. You know,
Right.
That's like a whole different type of villain. But it's
Yeah.
so refreshing to have like a game villain
Strategic
that we
villain.
can like root for.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for your super chat, Lynn. Laura Greer, oh my goodness, thank you so much. You are so kind and generous.
Yes.
I can't even.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank you
Every
so much for
time.
the engagement present. Oh my god. You are a sweetheart. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough.
I know. To everyone, even.
Yeah, to everyone, of course. I was just catching up on social media messages and comments today on like Instagram and Twitter.
I was not.
You guys are just so sweet. It was like overwhelming, all the love that I was feeling from everybody. Also, like the comments on our YouTube videos. Thank you all so much.
Really nice.
So that's where we're at right now, right? We've got an eviction tonight. I'm just more excited to see like who's gonna win this next
Definitely
HOH.
hope it's not Marty.
I can't deal with another Marty HOH.
Marty Mevalor!
I think it would be fun to see Betty.
I would
Summer.
love to see Betty.
Yeah. Kevin.
I don't know if Kevin would.
I think Kevin would backdoor a big target. I don't think he would put them straight up.
Okay.
Josh. I mean,
I don't think Kevin would gun for it to win. Not at this point.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't want to stick his neck out right now.
No.
But I feel like as long as like Marty or JC Lynn doesn't win HOH, we should have a good week, an interesting week, a fun week. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all so much for being here. We'll be back later for our recap. And until then,
deuces.
Much love. Thank you again, everybody. Bye. Bye. Oops. Bye.